And then junior year came physics, pre-calc, and like calc.
Like, actually,
I'm like, wait, I don't like this anymore. Like, where did all this come from? Oh, no, geometry.
Yeah,
Geometry was the worst for me.
I was gonna say
for me.
but
Geometry was like, I was like, oh my goodness, like these shapes, like my mind can't wrap like 3D.
Welcome to today's episode. I'm your host, Eunice Kim, and I'm here today with a special guest, Tristian. If you could just introduce yourself. Thank you for being here, but yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm definitely not special. I'm definitely just like an average kid.
I use that for
I'm definitely just an average guy.
No.
But yeah, it's a cool opportunity to be here. Like, I've never done anything like this. It's crazy. I never, like, to be honest, I don't even listen to podcasts. I'm not a podcast person, so just being on one before even like myself listening to that stuff is pretty cool.
It's special.
Yeah. So I guess, what was the question again? I was supposed to
tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I guess a little bit myself is that I'm 24. Oh my goodness. Why did I say that out loud? When I say it out loud, it sounds bad. I turned 25 in like 2 months in July, and then still adulting, trying to figure out what adulting is. I can't see myself maturing anytime soon, so I don't know how like our parents did it at this age. Like, they bought a house and everything like that.
Those were different times.
Yeah, definitely different times, but like, I'm making my way through life, I would say.
Making your way downtown.
I think I'm the best person to ask about being average and like
No.
but like yeah, I came to this church. I became a member of this church 2 years post grad. I graduated in 2019 at James Madison University. I can say JMU just in case.
I feel like most people might know what JMU is, but yeah.
Just for those who didn't know, I guess. But like, yeah, so I got involved kind of post college because the whole excuse, I was like, oh, I have no time. Like, during college, I had no time to go like be involved in church. Just like, I got studying. Like, all like school life, like balance and everything. I had no more excuses. I was like, okay, I gotta do this now or never.
Yeah.
And so like, I became a member, and then here I am. Somehow ended up on this podcast. Got involved at the communications team under Linda.
Yeah.
Started off doing like social media stuff.
Yeah. That's how I first met you.
Yeah.
I met you virtually first.
Yeah, I didn't meet Eunice in person. I don't think I ever talked to Eunice in person, actually.
I've seen you from afar, but I'm like, too far.
Yeah. And that team, I don't know what happened to that team. We got disassembled. But
it's because I was like, I'm doing too much. I need a break.
And then everyone just slowly dropped out, like went to a different team and like just left.
Yeah, I think I was still trying to hang on for a bit.
Yeah. Me too. I think I didn't even like formally leave. I just kind of just came off.
Or just didn't respond as much.
Yeah. So now I'm trying to do like the merch stuff, but I'm sorry, Linda. Like, I'm a little behind, but I am popping some stuff out.
Ooh.
And hopefully I get to like get some ideas and put some merch out there for you guys. Yeah. We'll see.
Woo.
I'll try to hype it up because if it turns out ugly, don't blame it on me.
Okay, you keep like you're like, I'm very average. Everything will be okay. Hopefully the drive. Was there any traffic coming here? Like, how?
No. I mean, there's like a few slow cars, but
are you a fast driver?
I'm not like super fast, like super aggressive. I guess it depends on the song that's playing in the car. But like,
the song gets you like hyped up.
But usually I'm fine. Like, I'm pretty like, I feel like when it comes to driving, wish-washy. Like, you know, like sometimes you're just like in that rush mode. Like, you're just like, wow, why is everyone going so slow? Sometimes you're just like, why is that person going so fast?
Yeah. That's true. It just depends on your mood. Like, if you're in a rush to go somewhere, you're like, get out of my way. But if you're just chilling.
Yeah, then you're like, why is that person going so fast? Like, what's he in a rush for?
That's true, but I tend to be on the more aggressive side. So the typical Nova driver.
I feel like you're angry. Like, if you're not an angry person, your anger has to go somewhere. You know, like, it would be.
Even sometimes the most like chill people who you would not expect to be like crazy drivers, I feel like they're crazier.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, anger is an emotion. Like, everyone has like anger that has to go towards something. You know, like if you're not angry throughout the day, it has to be like at some point.
Yeah. It's just like jolting when
Mhm.
the most like chill, calm person is like a rage. They have road rage, and you're just like, wait, what?
No, exactly.
What's your favorite thing about Nova? And how long have you lived in Nova?
So actually, I don't know, like that relates to my hot take question, but like, I think Nova actually. Can I just bring up my hot take right now? Actually, now
Yeah, what is your hot take? That's a question.
It's kind of related to like what's my favorite thing about Nova. It's actually like the food. Okay, like surprisingly, I think Nova holds its. This is my kind of like this goes into my hot take.
Mhm.
Nova holds its ground for like everyone else. Like, oh, let's go to New York to eat. Let's go to LA to eat, etc. Like, but like Korean, I just got back from like LA, you know, so I had a Korean barbecue there. Granted, I only ate like one place, but like honestly, like I think. Like Honey Pig, all the other places around here, like Mokja, like holds like it's just as good, if not like a little better.
Oh.
I still think like the best.
That's a hot take.
I know exactly. So like I think Honest Grill around here is the best one. Like that's like that differentiates itself from like LA barbecue. You know, like people are like, oh, BTS went to this one like in LA, and like, oh, this is so much better, but like. Northern Virginia, like it's underrated for food.
Yeah.
And, like I've eaten like at New York at the like I try to eat everywhere in New York when I was also in New York. And then so like Washington DC, Maryland, Virginia, like the whole DMV has like surprisingly like really good food, and it holds ground for not being like a major city like like LA.
A foodie scene.
Yeah, foodie. It's a good foodie scene. And it's like obviously we don't have like everything, and like stuff are slowly coming, but like for being not like a big city and like big metropolitan area, like the big cities, like that people would think that would have good food, we have good food.
Yeah. Especially for like a southern place, like you wouldn't expect like Asian food.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are some like underrated places specifically in Nova then that you think kind of hold their own? You said Honest Grill, like
yeah. I think like Korean barbecue and like the Korean scene here, the Korean food scene here is pretty good, and like. I think what could be like we have like good sushi here surprisingly, and like for not being on like near like the Pacific coast or like having I don't even know how like Japan would import their sushi and stuff like that, but like the sushi here is pretty good. Like at a certain point that like it can only get so good. In the worst case, like you don't need to go to LA. You can at least like take a 20-minute bus ride to like New York and get like if like you want something like different than other than Nova food. But like Nova just has like a lot of like burgers and stuff like that. Like I don't know, like when I went to like we all plan as like food places in New York and LA, and we always think like, wow, it's gonna be so mind blown. But then when we go there, it's just like, wait, like I feel like I'm eating something like similar, or like
it's not like radically.
It's not like I thought like my mind would be blown going to New York and LA, but like I guess we're so used to Nova food here, we're just like, oh, like. Nova's still like pretty good. It's not like mind blowing, but it's still good. It's still good. I'm not gonna like I'm not talking bad about LA or New York food, but like it's just like it's overrated compared to like what we got here. Yeah. Maybe you're from like the most random place like North Dakota, Montana, like eating food there, and you go to those places and you'd be like, wow, like this is game changing.
Yeah,
food.
that's true.
But like we have good food here.
Yeah. I agree, especially recently. Maybe this wasn't the case like 20 years ago, but like I saw an article somewhere saying that Nova, the DMV area has like 20% Asians. Like, I don't know. I was reading an AAPI like article, and it was just like, oh, where to celebrate AAPI month and blah, blah, blah. Asian American and Pacific Islander, for those who don't know. But it was saying how, Nova has like 20% Asian people. I was like, what? Like,
I still think it's so random that like Nova, like how did all the Asians end up in Northern Virginia? I guess like I mean,
maybe because of the food.
Maybe like granted, it's like I guess it's near DC.
Yeah.
But still, like I don't like what made Koreans want to come here. What made like Vietnamese want to come here? Like any like I don't know. Like how do we end up in Northern Virginia, not like Southern Virginia, like. I don't know, just like a bunch of other places that could have been not Northern Virginia, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah.
But my bigger question is like, how do Asians end up in North Dakota? There's no shade to them. Like, there are probably some, but like how did they end up there?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. There's Asians like, Granted, like there may be one or two of them, but like how did they end up there? I guess is
Yeah.
a question.
Where did you grow up? Did you grow up in Nova?
I grew up here actually my whole life, so
Same
that's-
county?
yeah. So I lived in the same home, like Fairfax County.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you'd call it Chantilly. I never lived near Chantilly High School, but technically it's considered Fairfax.
Yeah.
The city of Fairfax, like
The
Fairfax
lines
City.
are so blurred.
Yeah,
in that area,
exactly.
yeah.
But I lived in that same house since like, obviously I went to like school at JMU,
Mm-hmm.
but then like so I was like gone for like in and out for like 4 years, and then until now I moved out last month.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like I lived there my whole life, didn't move.
Like from
didn't
like
move
0
anything. Yeah,
years old.
yeah, exactly.
my
0
gosh.
years old. I didn't like the same house.
Wow.
So but I still go back every weekend, so it's not like I don't know if I consider myself moved out. Yeah, but like
You go back for the free meals and stuff.
yeah, exactly. Especially after spending so much money in California the past few weeks.
You're like, yeah, maybe I should just go back home.
Yeah.
Wait, so how did your family end up in Nova? Like, were they here a few years before?
So I
you?
guess kind of answers my own question, but my own question from earlier. But I guess my mom, how did she get over? She actually came through a boat.
Oh my god.
Through like all like like during the Vietnam War, all the Vietnamese were kind of like sneaking out of the country during that wartime, and she ended up on a boat, and then her I guess her sponsor family was around here. I guess is that if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, like it's kind of like it's weird. I don't know how I'm supposed to be talking about this, but like vice versa. I mean, like it's kind of ironic since my mom grew up a little richer than my dad in Vietnam, but then like she came on a boat. But then my dad, who grew up like poor in the farms of Vietnam, he came through a plane, surprisingly. So like how he got over his mom, like I guess worked for the U.S. Embassy somehow. I don't know how that works, and then that's how he flew over here.
Oh, so he had like the pass.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But my mom didn't have that pass, and I guess her sponsor family was here. She like stayed in Japan until they all waited for like a sponsor family, and then I guess they ended up here. I assume. I don't remember her being.
So
like,
they were like
California.
leaving Vietnam to like be safe.
Yeah, exactly. Almost
my
like
gosh.
like refugees essentially.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy because it feels like the Vietnam War was like much longer ago, but
Yeah.
it actually wasn't. It's in your parents' generation.
Mm-hmm.
How has that like impacted your family like today? Or is it kind of like, oh, okay, it's like in the past? Like, is it still very impactful today?
I feel like I can see how it impacts other families, but for my family, it doesn't seem like that impactful from what I've seen personally. I mean, my dad grew up with no dad. So like I guess in return for us, he just wants to like be a good dad and like try. So he doesn't really know what like being a good dad is. So he kind of did his own thing, and I guess we turned out fine. So I assume so. But I guess to elaborate on that, like how's it impacting me?
Or even just your family life. I mean, honestly, like, yeah, my parents, once they moved to America, like their struggles obviously impact, but it doesn't like, it's not like it radically changes their day-to-day life now. It's kind of like, oh, we left that behind.
Yeah. I would say that like they left it behind. Like not until recently, they didn't really have like a desire to go back to Vietnam. Like I guess like my parents are like pretty Americanized now since like I guess they grew up as kids. But I also know like a lot of Vietnamese who came as kids, but they still came like speak English and stuff, like kind of didn't adapt to the culture. So I can see like how like for them it would still be like impactful, but for us we kind of like adapted to American culture, and then like we're forced to adapt to the American culture. And even for myself, like I grew up, Vietnamese was my first language. Even granted, I don't know any Vietnamese anymore, but like it's because like the ESOL system was like
crap.
Yeah, it was like it's just like they force you pretty much to learn English, and like my parents like, oh, like why is it ESOL for so long? So they started speaking English to me at home, and eventually like we all just speak English now. We don't speak Vietnamese or anything like that.
Yeah. No, it's kind of tough. Like when you want to keep that, like be bilingual, but then if you don't use it, you just
even like I even asked my parents like, oh, like I wanted to learn Vietnamese and keep my Vietnamese language. Or like, oh, can you send me like the Sunday Vietnamese school? Because also like I had a lot of Korean friends growing up, and they're all like, oh, we go to Korean like church every Sunday, like I have Korean school, like all that stuff. And I was like,
did you learn Korean?
No. But I was like, I want to do my own Vietnamese thing like every Sunday, like to make like Vietnamese friends. All the Koreans like knew each other kind of in like middle school, elementary school. I was like, I'm gonna do like a Vietnamese like church thing. I also learn my language at the same time.
Yeah.
But like I guess they never like really cared for it. And they're like, oh,
whatever.
yeah, exactly. So I never got to get that. I don't even know there's Vietnamese schools or like Sunday school or stuff like
the
that.
Sunday school.
Yeah.
Like the what was it? Yeah, Korean school. Like I had, we called it Hangarakyo, like just Korean school at a church usually.
Oh, okay.
That's where I kind of learned. That's where I remember most of my Korean.
But did they teach you like church stuff, religious stuff?
No, they had like the separate like Bible school for that. But for you didn't have any of that, right?
Anything? Not that I know of, at least.
Hey, maybe you can start it now for other Vietnamese kids.
I always wanted to, just so I could have like the Vietnamese community other than like my family or like what people I saw at school, because I wanted to know people at like other schools and stuff like that, and like say hi, like when we like go on field trips and you see another school, like, oh my god, I know that person.
Yeah. So your community for the most part was, what was it like then growing up? Koreans or like,
I would say Korean. Like I think the Korean population here in like Chantilly, Centerville area was like the majority Asian, I would say.
Yeah.
It's like if like 90% make up like the population for the Asians, at least.
90? No.
Okay, 80. I exaggerated a little bit, but I would say like it was like it's
definitely the majority.
Yeah, majority
so.
For sure. And then obviously there's like a limited Vietnamese, but like I mean, so I grew up with a lot of Korean. I don't know if the Koreans accepted me, but I always like hanging out with them because I think they were really cool. I always like felt left out when like people started speaking Korean, make Korean jokes like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, how do I say this? Yeah, and also like I remember in middle school, everyone's like into like K-pop and stuff like that. I didn't like everyone's like doing like the GGG dance, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna learn that. So I like went home and like pull up YouTube and try like, oh, what is this hype like everyone keeps like doing during like the cafeteria, and like, and I remember there's like Korean tables at Rocky Run and all this stuff, and I was like, I can't relate with them and stuff like that.
You tried though.
Actually, going back to like, I know like Koreans like always did like turkey bowl for their like Sundays, and that's what I also wanted to be a part of for like the Vietnamese church, because there's no like sports or anything like that during that time for like a Vietnamese kid, I guess, other than like doing like CYA basketball. And then even then I was like pretty much like one of the worst kids there because I didn't get like the experience like playing with other kids, I guess, or practicing with other kids other than like actually showing up to like CYA practice, like
those like recreational
exactly.
But you didn't get the extra practice at church, turkey bowl or whatever.
Exactly, and playing with other, I guess, Asian kids.
Yeah. Like, what high school did you go to?
I went to Chantilly High School.
Oh, okay.
Not smart enough for Thomas Jefferson at all. That's where the majority.
It's okay. I applied to TJ and I didn't get in. Actually, Eric, one of our hosts here, went to TJ and and it doesn't matter anymore because it has no impact later on.
I was like, oh, should I sign up for like TJ prep? Like I remember all the kids that I went to Rocky Run, like the GT school, and not that because I was in GT, just because I was like I lived nearby, but like all those kids were like doing like TJ prep and like all that stuff, and I was like,
you're just trying to learn the GGG dance.
I was like, what is all these kids doing? Like I remember they always talked about going to like some school, like Sunday like prep school or whatever. I was like, am I behind? Granted, I'm not a smart kid, but I mean, I still thought I had a chance for some reason.
Well, smart is like, it's always tough because smart is, and this is my gripe with like, standardization and like, and prep, SAT prep and like those kind of things. But like smart is seen in like, oh, book smart or like good at test taking. But for you, I know you have more of like arts background. So like that's different. Like you can't, it's like apples and bananas. You can't like compare them.
Yeah, I definitely didn't discover that till later on, I guess. And even then, I still don't know if that's what I'm like calling is.
I feel like you seem, I know a little bit about your personality, and I know you're more the type that's like, I think I'm good at this, even though you're really good at it. You're just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of like winging it and like, I can do whatever you give me. Yeah. I don't know if I'm doing a good job or not, but I mean,
no, that's definitely a strength to be like, just more willing, but also just
Uh-huh.
like be flexible and
Yeah.
like just willing to try, like
Mhm.
even if you're not like the best at it, but
Mhm.
like that's how you learn, like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
practice and stuff like
But
that.
that's definitely like the hard part about like why people don't do things they like want to do, but then end
Right.
up not doing. 'Cause
Especially if you don't know what your passion is.
I think that was like also like a big thing for me growing up. Is like my dad would sign me up for a karate class, and I'm like I always be so embarrassed, like not knowing the form, and like they asked me to count and like whatever the language the karate instructor was, or
Yeah.
like taekwondo, like I know it was like Korean,
Yeah.
and I couldn't count in Korean. It was just so embarrassing.
And that you already were feeling like insecure that
Yeah,
you weren't.
exactly.
You had
So
all these Korean
anything like that, my dad would sign me up for a class, and I'm like the new one, and like trying to learn. I got so insecure, and like I'm like oh, like I don't know if like I actually want to do it. Like I get scared. But my dad was also like he never like pushed me to do it, which is like kind of a good and bad thing. Like if I wanted to quit, he like just take me out. But like at the same time, like I could have used that push just so I can pick up a bunch more hobbies later on.
That's true. But he just signed you up for everything.
Yeah, he signed me up for everything and like see what I guess what I liked, but it kind of didn't matter for me because like I just hate being like the new person, like be like the worst one at the time, even though like I know everyone starts out as like in different places and stuff like that.
Yeah, not everyone will start out as like a genius. Most people won't start out as like a genius or whatever, like expert at something.
Exactly. But I guess like I was so young to like know that like that I was like, oh, like if I'm not like if I can't keep up, then like I don't like I shouldn't be here, like kind of thing.
No, it would be kind of amazing if like as an 8-9-year-old you knew, hey, I don't think I'm cut out for this. Let me not even try. Like, that would save everyone a lot of time.
And plus like everyone's like older, or like you see like older kids, or like at least they look older, and then you just get so intimidated.
Yeah.
And you're just like trying to like ask for questions and ask help right now. Now I don't mind being like the worst person. So I guess like I mean like obviously that might come with maturity.
Yeah.
But, like I'm definitely more open to like trying new stuff. But I wish I had that mindset as a kid, obviously. But we're all kids.
Yeah. I guess it took going through all those experiences and failures.
Yeah, I guess so. It kind of made me who I am today.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not wasting any more opportunities like that.
Did you have any favorite subjects in school then? Like whether elementary to high school, like favorite or ones that you were good at? I mean, I know you said you didn't really care for it.
I mean, obviously, like I don't know, like PE. Dude, that definitely I love playing at every single sport. Like the gym. I always thought like, oh, PE is not long enough. Like, can you make it longer? Or like stuff like that. So
everything not actually school related.
I mean, if you had to make me pick like a school related, like sit down like study for maybe math up until like calculus, because like then like it's like all simple equations, and then junior year came physics, pre-calc, and like calc.
Actually,
wait, I don't like this anymore. Like where did all this come from? Oh no, geometry.
Yeah,
geometry was the worst for me.
I was gonna say
for me.
No,
geometry was like I was like, oh my goodness, like these shapes, like my mind can't wrap like 3D.
And then memorizing the formula.
Yeah, exactly.
I honestly don't remember them. Like I can't tell you what the formula for circumference or something. I don't know. Honestly, does anyone know here? We don't need to know.
So that when that
2 pi r, whatever. Okay, thank you, Eric, for the.
So when high school came, I remember going to high school in geometry. Was like my freshman math class, and I was like, all right, this math is not my favorite anymore. I was like, I hate all subjects. I think the worst one for me, you asked me the worst one, I don't know, was English. Dude, I hate writing papers. Here's a secret, actually. Like my sister wrote most of my like college paper, like my college essays and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. I hope they don't hear this.
I hope my name doesn't like spread over there. But I mean, I graduated now, so I guess like that I can share it now. But like, she didn't write the whole thing, but I wrote like the template, like all like the ideas and stuff, and she makes it sound smart, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
so you have an older sister?
No, she's the younger one.
Oh.
she's in the middle. Like I have like 2 younger sisters.
Oh, so she's the middle child.
So yeah, awkward.
Awkward. Anyway, what was your what sport were you best at?
What sport was I best at?
Like in PE, like you went to Rocky Run. Did they make you guys do a lot of sports?
Yeah, they made us play a lot of sports. And I would say like honestly within my PE class, I was like good at all of them. But then obviously when you like actually start playing the actual sport and like in a recreational league, you're like, wait, it's not my PE class. Everyone's kind of good in that whatever sport I was playing. But like I would say for myself, I'm like I'm definitely not as athletic as some people, but actually I would say I'm more athletic than a normal person.
That's such a humble way to say I'm pretty decent.
No, I'm decent. That's why I'm gonna leave it at that. But like there's definitely some athletic people at CCPC, so I don't want anyone to come and challenge me. Be like, hey, square up right now, like in basketball 1v1, and I'm like, no, I can't.
Then they're gonna be listening and be like, he's not good at that sport.
I would say like pretty athletic to like not to like hold my ground, especially if it's like a new sport. I can like hold myself to keep up.
Yeah, you're athletic where you can like like do.
And once I'm more serious about it and like kind of pick it up, then I strive to be like as good as I can. Obviously, I want to be the best one. Obviously, that's not how it works in life. But like I like try watch YouTube videos and try to do all that. But that's when I get like into like a certain sport and like
what specific sports?
I guess recently. Well, ever since I moved, it was like Muay Thai. So I was like kick. It was like kickboxing with like knees and elbows. So like I was like watching YouTube videos every day. Same with volleyball. Recently got more serious. I always played volleyball like here and then, like during college till now. But now like I have more time to play volleyball, like for FXA and stuff like that. Like now I'm like trying to like look at videos, is like kind of perfect my form and like work on like certain things.
You watched the anime that
of course, yeah, Haikyuu. I just finished the 4th season like actually like a month or 2 ago.
Dude, that show, I definitely know that my brother, he's a huge fan. I think Haikyuu was a big reason why he got into volleyball.
I think that's like a big reason for Asians who got into volleyball. Like this
in this area.
Yeah, in this area. There's such like a huge like I don't think anyone's playing volleyball until that anime came out. And all of a sudden all the Asians like, oh, I just watched this. So like that's how I got into volleyball. You can ask like if you go to Castle, that's where everyone plays like indoor volleyball. They ask like how you get into volleyball. Like they'd probably say that or like someone else who probably got into volleyball.
Yeah. Because of Haikyuu.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A friend of a friend of a friend got into it because of Haikyuu.
Yeah, exactly. That's how like I always say even for me, like that's how I got into it. I remember. But it's definitely like I remember I had 2 friends playing previously before the anime.
Yeah, they started the trend.
And they're like I after I watched it, I was like, hey, like can you guys like take me out to play like for their like, team? And I was like, they're like, yeah, sure. I remember going to my first practice. I was like, what the heck? This is not like the anime. This is not easy as like PE volleyball. No. I thought it would be like somewhat good because I was good at it in PE volleyball. But it was not anything close to PE volleyball. And I was like, oh no, this is like an actual like team too. And,
and it's like 10 times faster. PE volleyball is just like where you just stick your hand out and you like hit it. Like,
and everyone just tries to like push it over and stuff like that. But now there's like a whole setup here. You have to like set it and
then the quicks.
Exactly. Even I can't like I try to do that sometimes and it's hard.
If you guys don't watch Haikyuu, you should, because I don't care for volleyball, but I do now because
it's a good show. It's a good show. Like she's right. Like you don't have to be into volleyball because it will probably get you.
It will make you be into volleyball. You'll get like passionate and emotional about. And you would have never thought.
Yeah. You definitely won't be able to do that cool stuff in the anime. Like
no, that's.
But
only pros.
Yeah. Honestly, that's like pro movement, even though they're like high school kids.
Yeah.
In the show.
Yeah, it's like I think professional volleyball players like at the Olympic level do play that fast, which is insane.
I know.
But one can only dream.
Actually, the Japanese team, like the national team, it's like they like I feel like. I think the anime actually like came from them, like watching them play, because it's actually a pretty accurate anime when it comes to that. It's not like superpowers and like unrealistic stuff. It's actually pretty realistic stuff that the actual team does. But at the pro level, at the pro level, not like I wouldn't even know like a high school level, like that, like which is like supposed to be taking place. Do
you have any other TV shows that are anime or whatever that you like?
I mean, like when I was in middle school, high school, I was like really into it. Recently, I haven't had much time. I've been trying to keep up with
Mhm.
like the main ones now, like Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer,
Mm.
and like all the like what people are watching nowadays, just so I can have like something to talk about, and like also like when you go to convention, you see what everyone's dressing up as. So.
You gotta stay relevant. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually like trying to get into like cosplay stuff. I'm trying to. I actually just bought my first like cosplay from
Can you explain cosplay?
Cosplay. Okay, I guess
for those who might not know.
I think the easiest way for people who don't know what it is, it's almost like I hate to use this example, but like Halloween costume.
Yeah.
For like people, it's like almost like a community. A lot of people like kind of make their own. I just buy my own, and then I plan on like kind of like wearing it to like some anime convention, like Otakon, like near ones like Otakon or like Katsucon and all that stuff. So that's kind of like there's a whole community for it, and it's like huge. Like people do like photo shoots and stuff like that. It's like I guess it is like a Halloween costume, but you can like it's not a designated day to wear it.
Just like conference like meetups.
Yeah, exactly. Or I mean you could wear it in public too.
Yeah,
you could.
No judgment. But I think it's because people are so like passionate about like TV shows, or like it's very campy, and it's like honestly like it's more specific to Japanese culture, but like in America or other cultures, there's definitely like Rocky Horror Picture Show. I know that's a huge thing. Like it's definitely more that's like has a huge cult following. Yeah, it's very cult.
I know like Comic-Con, like people dress up as like all the Marvel heroes and like all that other shows, or like Star Trek stuff, or like all that kind of like pop culture nerdy stuff. I guess cosplay is just like in a way like the Japanese way of specific
to Japan and their culture. No, for sure. How do you balance so you're just starting to get into that, but how do you balance that with like work, or do you prioritize that over work sometimes more?
No, so I've been like I'm just like recently getting into it, so I spend like I'm like a night owl. Like I don't sleep till like 4 a.m 3 a.m every day, and I still have to wake up at like 9:30. How am I functioning? I don't really know, but like so like a lot of my time is kind of like spent. My costume actually came today in the mail. Funny
good timing.
But so I haven't even tried it on or anything like that, but like most of the time that I spent, I can't tell you how I balance it, because I haven't really like done anything with it other than like kind of like research a costume and like see what I need to buy and stuff like that. But if anything, like why I sleep so late is because I'm trying to like make the most out of my day, I guess, because like I get off because I get off work, let's say like 5:30, or like sometimes sneak out by like 4 or whatever, and then like obviously like go to the gym, or like play like sports or something, and by the time like you cook dinner and all that, it's already like 10.
You're like, so, like, well, now what do I do?
So like I guess like for me, like a lot of my friends also go on like Discord and stuff like that, and like we're all like night owls, so we all kind of like are a bad influence on each other, just like staying up that late
for friendship. Right?
Exactly, because especially now that like some of us, I mean, some people are here for like this month for graduation for their siblings, but I have like friends who are out of the state. Like one lives in Seattle, one just, I can't even say he lives in New York anymore because he just moved back a few months ago. So like we're all like on that Discord and like kind of talking to like whatever. And
it's like college again.
Exactly.
But like you're not. And you're working.
So we all like play games and stuff like that. And it's like kind of like only time to play games, you know, because everyone's like kind of busy throughout the evening or whatever.
Yeah. And during the day because you have jobs.
Yeah. I don't even know we're busy during the evening. I don't know what everyone else does, but at least for me, like I don't know why everyone's excuses to get on at 12 a.m, you know. So that's why I end up sleeping late sometimes. But I guess that's when my night starts. It's like around 12 a.m.
Oh my
like
God.
playing games and stuff like that.
So the night is young for you.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do for work?
What I do for work? Okay. I do UI.
When you do work during the day.
When I have work to do, it's UI UX design. Recently my new job was more UX focused, so it's a lot of like,
oh, you got a new job?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like UX focused, I would say. So it's like a lot of researching, a lot of
Wireframing.
wireframing, and like a lot of just like analyzing notes. Like I guess I'm still like kind of new to the company and have a lot of experienced UX who's like been there for like a while. UX designers who've been there for a while, but even then, like I had to do like a lot of like kind of like planning out the whole like website, I guess, or like kind of like strategizing. Like people think like, oh, can you design me a website? And it's not just like, oh, on Wix or like Squarespace, just like
WordPress,
putting blocks and like putting your content on. It's just like there's actually like a whole strategy behind it, I guess. Obviously, you don't have to do that. You can do whatever.
You can take the easy way.
Yeah, you take the easy way and just start like putting your information.
Use the template.
Yeah, exactly. So like, but I guess our company is kind of like, yeah, there's a whole strategy. Like you interview like the client, see like what they want. You try to like ask them kind of like right now, like kind of like digging for like the questions and like kind of like, see what they want. Yeah, exactly. What do you actually want? Not what you say you want.
Yeah. Sometimes customers don't know what they want until they've seen what they don't want.
Yeah,
and they're like, no, we don't want that. You give them 9 solutions, like examples, and they're like, no, we don't want that.
No, it's exactly like that. So that's why it's like complicated. It's not just like, oh, you design me a website? Okay, come back to me in like a few months.
Yeah.
Just like keep in close contact meetings every week about like what they want. And then, like there's a whole discovery and like the whole like once the design is laid out, kind of like you have to actually like code it. It's not just like using like Squarespace or Wix and like putting blocks there. There's actually like a developer that codes the whole design.
So they have to do a lot of like not manual, but it's just like you have to code every single line, because there's like a lot of companies that just use, I mean, the company I work at is more like low code, so we can use like Appian. We use like a lot of like drag and drop or whatever, but it sounds like literally a lot of web development. I think very manual kind of.
I think now like we have like kind of building blocks in a way. So not like a whole template, but in ways it is a template, but like reusable. Reusable blocks.
Oh yeah. So, for those who might not know, can you explain like UI, UX, and just what that is as a whole?
I would say, let me see. UX is like the blueprint of a design. Let's say like I'm going to use the website for example, because technically it could be used for like UX is like just like your whole experience of whatever. And but in this case I'll use like the website. So UX is like the whole blueprints to the website, and UI is like you're actually going and physically designing like the colors and stuff like that.
Like what you actually like see also.
Actually, what do you actually see? But the UX part you definitely don't see. It's just like, why did that block go there? Why are we putting the title here? Like, why do we have tabs here? Like, there's a whole strategy kind of like behind the whole design essentially. And UI people kind of like, oh, make it look pretty, and like it is the fun part to be honest. And like the whole color scheme and stuff like that, and like I guess that's the best way to put it. But in a real life aspect, I'm not saying that website's not real life, but like UX is like almost like your day to day. Like, what can you do for your day to day, like improve your day to day in a way?
Yeah,
because like you can go through like there's like certain stuff that are designed like not efficiently, but UX, our goal is to make your life like more efficient as possible and like lead to like more efficiency and like cause less problem.
Yeah, or just like I forget the word, but just like your experience as a whole and just like your kind of happiness. What contributes to your happiness, honestly.
Exactly.
And if for life, just even for UX, like a big part is like making a website accessible for those who might not be able to, like, who are blind or like they can't access the page. Like the stuff that I do at work is kind of very interrelated too, so we kind of like cross over there.
No, exactly. Like, that's why like one thing like we say like accessibility, like people like, oh, like we have to make it look good and like all that stuff, but then you don't know that there's a lot of users who like are colorblind or like can't, or just blind in general, or like can't like use it, or physically disabled and they can't use like certain things, but like there's actually like whole machines out there that kind of like help those accessibility people, like and it helps them and then people not realizing that like, oh, like if just because the design looks cool doesn't mean it's like functional for
Yeah,
every.
that's the
You're leaving
UX
out,
part.
yeah, exactly. And you're leaving out like the whole group of people that like can't act, like you're leaving out them, and that's kind of like
Yeah.
discriminating in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because you just want it to look good, you know, but it's not like.
Yeah. It definitely gets very like kind of deep or
Mhm.
very like gets into like ethics
Mhm,
or
mhm.
like I don't know about morality, but it definitely gets into ethics and kind of
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
larger, like bigger picture, and
Mhm.
like even just like interacting with people, it's like so it's important. So.
Yeah, and everyone has like different goals too. Like everyone's like, oh, can you design my like website like Apple?
It's
Like,
like
I mean, you're not like a big brand like Apple.
you're not Apple, but
Yeah, but I guess like you know like people don't realize like there's a whole like just because it looks good doesn't mean it's gonna work.
gonna be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Do you see like your faith or anything like that? Like, how does that like fit into your work life or your workplace?
It's definitely hard to be honest. Oh, I guess like well, balancing wise, it's hard because like you have work and sometimes you get too tired to like like pull up the Bible and like start reading or stuff like that.
I mean, you don't want to like just pull up your Bible during the like a Zoom call. And
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Hey, everyone, hear ye. Like,
and you hear like, especially my company is like we're very like liberal, I would say. So you hear like certain things you can't like really make comments, or it's like you just obviously like you can, but like you know it's hard, especially like starting out your career. Like you don't want to be like that person, I guess.
Yeah.
But like also just like in general, like it's like work sucks up your energy, and then sometimes like okay, I like kind of skip CG sometimes. You gotta go do other stuff.
Sorry, CG leaders.
Sorry, CG leaders. You know. So that's like the hard part. I think that's the hardest part, is just trying to like balance like energy wise and like your time, because it's just like so much. I guess there's so much during your day, you know, like, and you just get so exhausted, and it's hard just to like. I give kudos to people who do that, because like, that takes a lot of like energy. And, like,
yeah. I mean, I think I know a big reason why you're not energetic. I feel like you said so yourself. You're sleeping at 4 and you have to wake up by 9.
Okay, you're gonna call me out like
hey, just sleep earlier, dude.
I know. It's
no,
like,
I mean this is your youth, honestly. Still, like even though you're post grad and you're not like in high school anymore, but like. Saying as a slightly older person, I'm like, enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
Closer you get to like 30 or 40, 50, like it's just, you're just going to get more tired. So
yeah.
You have to take care of your body for sure.
Yeah, I know. That's true. But like at the same time, like what I'm doing right now could definitely speeding up my aging. I don't recommend it, but like, but granted, I hope this doesn't get back to like my workplace, but I do like take naps during the day. But,
we won't specify your workplace name, so hopefully they don't see it in the keyword search engine. Like, oh, why did this show up in a podcast?
I just take like quick naps during the day, so
hey man, if that makes you more efficient.
Yeah, it does. Like rather than just like kind of like bobbing your head, like oh I can't. Like,
you're not nodding yes, you're falling asleep in a meeting.
Yeah. So might as well just take that like 15-minute nap and like. Just be energized and feel motivated when you wake up from that nap.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like pandemic, it's like definitely a bit more acceptable now because like, and accessible because before you can't really do that at the work.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to like, because I don't know if I have like some like I always like fall asleep during the day. So like,
I wonder why you're narcoleptic.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, maybe there is a reason, but like, but I've been lucky enough to have like most of my jobs so far, except my internship before, actually post grad. But post grad, all my jobs somehow been work from home or remote or some sort of remote.
Even before COVID.
Yeah, even before COVID somehow. Like, I don't know how I got to that point. Maybe
you just sought those out. You're like, yeah, I need to work from home.
Actually, that was funny because like I was like. My first job out of college was like remote. I was like, I want to be like in an office, you know, like trying to get like the office experience and stuff like that. And then I applied to what my previous was now my previous job.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're in office. I was like, okay, like I'm gonna try to commute and see how it is, like because I haven't commuted. Then COVID hit, and I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, okay, I guess I'll stay home. And now like I'm just like, oh, okay, maybe it was just a company. Maybe I do like remote work.
Maybe I don't want to commute.
Yeah, maybe I don't want to
spend
commute.
45 minutes
Exactly,
contemplating life.
That's why I was like, okay, maybe it's a sign for me just to work remote.
And that way you won't be wishy-washy on the road, like, or potentially have road rage.
Yeah. That too. I just don't know how. I can't imagine myself sleeping early nowadays. Like early for me is like 1, 12 to 1. I know everyone's listening. It's like, oh, what the heck? Like this guy's a crazy animal.
No. I mean, you are younger and like earlier on in your career, it's a little bit more. Mm-hmm. It's like acceptable. It's fine.
I don't know if it's acceptable.
Because I was kind of similar when I first, like in my 2-3 years out of college, I was like sleeping pretty late. Even the peak pandemic, because it was like work from home, there was one day I was going to sleep around 4 or 4:30, and then my roommate, she was working at a hospital at the time, like she was waking up around like 5:30, and I was like, I should go to sleep now because I don't want to cross over and be like, hey, good night. I was just like, that it was kind of a wake up call.
No.
Maybe you need that wake up.
No, I know. No, because I mean, I've had that few wake up calls. As an example, because like my sister would work the night shift, like during her like what do you call it, clinicals, and then she goes like to work at like 4 a.m. or like it's 4 a.m. or she gets home around like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And like it would be like a weekend, and and she's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Hey." She comes home from work, and she's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Hey." That's not what it looks like. I just woke up, like I just want to start my day.
You got it all wrong.
It's not what it seems.
That's when you were living at home. Yeah, that's probably a good wake up call.
Honestly, I had so many wake up calls, but I can't even say like everyone's like, "Wow, like COVID really made me like sleep late and like all this other stuff," and I'm like. Nothing's changed for me. This is the exact same.
Oops.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I can't like. It's weird being at home, like just playing games all the time. Like, this is not
your
normal.
Life,
This is not normal.
Oh, that's a weird thing. Oh, right, yeah.
I can't even say COVID made my sleep schedule worse. It might have pushed it back an hour, but it's been mainly the same for a while.
Yeah.
Can't blame anything. Just like the only person I can blame is myself.
No reason to blame yourself. Honestly, like, not saying take advantage of it, but like life is a lot more balanceable now, I guess. So,
yeah, exactly. Especially from the work at home. Like maybe if I had to commute, it'd be a whole different story. Maybe I'd actually be sleeping by 12.
Yeah.
But like I guess ever since like this work from home thing, I just like
if there isn't the pressing need, it's like
yeah, exactly. That's
while you're young
and working from home during this COVID time, might as well just take advantage of it. Yeah, I'm just gonna use that. That's my excuse.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But if 2 years from now you're still doing this, then I'll be like doing it like
community too.
Tristan,
it is a problem.
Maybe try to incrementally sleep earlier. Maybe that by that time, like Discord won't be as like lit or whatever. Like you guys, or like your chats, like won't be as crazy.
That's what I kind of like dread too, because then it's like, oh shoot, we're all growing up, and we all have to like focus on life.
So you don't want to get older.
Yeah, exactly. And I see those TikToks like of like video games, like people like, oh, like when they're in high school, like everyone's like, oh, like, yo, we're playing up until like 3 a.m. Luckily, like, and as everyone like progressively gets older and everyone's like has their own life, everyone like the TikToks, like everyone slowly like kind of like drops off.
Yeah, they go idle.
Yeah, like kind of like your friend group gets smaller and people are just like sleeping early and like slowly drops off and they play like the really sad music. I don't know, like sometimes I do get sad about that, but then at the same time, I feel like all my friends are like, we're all kind of like, sorry, I'm gonna call them out, like immature, so we all like stay up to that time.
Right. So you're not really there yet.
We're all like in our mid-20s and we're all kind of still like act like high schoolers in a way. So I'm trying to keep my youth in a way, but I can definitely see it.
I think like probably when we were younger, what we thought of mid-20s is not what it actually is like. I think
Not at all.
we just thought someone who's like 25, 26 seems so mature, but in reality, it's us. Like,
I know.
it's not that mature.
That's so true. Oh my goodness. Like I thought
So you're doing fine.
yeah, I was like so
Fine.
intimidated with the older people. Like when I was in high school and now I look at them like who would I want to be intimidated by me?
But then like maybe someone is, but or maybe someone is. I don't know.
I guess I could look scary sometimes, but like to me, like if you actually know who I am, I'm like, why this guy's like a teddy bear, like he's a wimp.
He's a scrub. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're not a scrub. I guess I'm curious how this is a little bit like different topic, but like how did you end up coming to CCPC and like who brought you here, or like did you just like kind of stumble upon CCPC?
So I guess my sister's been going since like their high schools. I have two little sisters, like been going like through high school.
Wait, what's her name?
Angelique and Madeline.
That's your sister. Yeah. Those are. Oh
yeah, Madeline
Madeline
doesn't go out any like as recent. She still goes like once in a while for like service.
Are they in? Is she in college?
No, Madeline's in high school. She's finishing up her junior year. Angelique is sorry, dang, this is taking a long time to respond. It's gonna make me look bad. But finishing up her, she's graduating. She's graduating
Chris,
this May.
please edit that well.
She's graduating in May
from
Mason, but she's doing she's doing nursing. So in that story earlier, like how she worked like the night shift.
So she's a responsible one.
Yeah, she's the one that writes my papers.
She beautified.
Yeah, she's beautified. Yeah, that's the word. From like essays to like Yelp reviews. I'm like, hey,
Yelp reviews?
I'm trying to get that Yelp elite, you know. My writing, that's how bad my writing is. I jot down everything I want to say, and she beautifies it. Like she just make this sound smart.
she's a nice sister. Yeah, I think I've like seen of your sisters because I like helped out at some youth retreats, and I think they were there.
Yeah, they're like, especially Angelique, not Madeline recently, but Angelique's very involved in like the churches and stuff like that.
Wow, that like connection was just made in my head today. I was today years old. Yeah. I did not know.
Oh yeah, she's definitely the model Christian child in our family. I don't know about like the CCPC poster child, but she's definitely in our family the Christian child. And it's weird too, because like growing up, like we weren't really forced to go to church. We kind of like we went to like we grew up Catholic. We were going to like church whenever like for like the special holidays and stuff like that. And eventually we all like just stopped going. And then for some reason I shouldn't laugh because it was a bad story behind it, but I personally don't know. But they started going to like church on their own. And then I was in college at the time when my sisters were like actively going to CCPC. So when I would visit home, they would take us to CCPC. I was still like kind of like on the fence, like, oh, should I be like turn into like a Christian or stuff like that during college too. But like post grad, that's how I got into like when I had figured out I had more time and I actually want to be part of this community. Then that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna like go through the whole like membership class and everything like that. Yeah. So, but they were the one that pretty much introduced me to this church and had like the community, and like I can use them like, hey, do you know them? They're like, oh, you're like Angelique's sister, Angelique's brother,
like just what I did.
Yeah, exactly. So like I had like kind of like the little connection that like kind of like breaks the ice in a way that I'm not just kind of like some random. Just trying to meet
people. Hey, don't worry, you fit in. I know, even if you're not Korean, it's okay. It probably is tough though, like because CCPC is a majority Korean church, and like obviously there are other Asians and other like there are non-Asians at CCPC, but the majority.
It definitely is tough, especially being non-Korean. Like, especially also like going to JMU. There's not a lot of JMU people that go to CCPC. I mean, like obviously there's like a handful, but it's not like all the kids that went to UVA. So like or it's hard to or tech or like they all like
I went to UVA, so
so they all like kind of know each other too, coming back home from stuff. And I have to like at least for me, like the JMU people were also like older, so it's hard. Like still like you connect with them, but it's not like as easy as like all like the whole like my 2019 class from UVA kind of like going back to CCPC and kind of like all knowing each other. So it's definitely kind of like especially being not Korean. When they make Korean jokes, And I'm like, hi.
Like, oh, funny.
I kind of know because I watch Korean dramas.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of
You can understand a little bit. Yeah.
So like I guess I can like see the joke in a way, or like whatever they talk about in
Yeah.
a way. But like, yeah, that's like how it is hard for
Mm,
being non-Korean and going to like not kind of being raised in the church
mm.
and that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, do your parents go to church now?
Yeah. So like, I think both my parents are Catholic.
Mhm.
So like they're like still like the traditional beliefs. So they go to their Catholic. Sometimes they come to CCPC though
Mm.
when they can't. Yeah, but like they're Catholic, and yeah, so
Mm.
it's not like we like force each other to be like whatever.
One
Like,
or
we
the
just
other.
tell-
Yeah. It's kind of tough, especially with
Mhm,
family.
mhm.
Then for your experience, like, yeah, going through membership class, was that like kind of a big turning point for you then? Or like, was there like someone specifically that like, or whether there's like a small group or something
I
like
guess
that?
during college, there's a person that like took me to like the Christian church.
Mm,
I was only going to Catholic church, and that's all I knew.
mm.
Like, and someone took me to Christian church. I'm like, holy moly,
Whoa.
it's not like
Even though it's under the Christian umbrella,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty different.
yeah, it's very different. Like Catholic church, like Catholic mass is like very traditional
Mhm.
and like very slow, boring.
The liturgy, the
Uh-huh.
order service.
Exactly.
Like,
And then like you go to like those like Christian Presbyterian churches, and they're like singing. I went to like those the multi-ethnic church at JMU. And so
Oh, okay.
it was funny, and it was like the singing was like hard. Like,
It was more
nice.
like hip.
Yeah, it's hip. It was so hip. I was like, whoa, this is like
This is church?
yeah, this is I know like what is this is it's supposed to be this fun? Like, I thought like I was like suffering through Catholic church.
Oh no. No
Oh,
shade to them.
Yeah, no shade to them, but like I was like that's all I knew, and I was like
Mm,
well, I accepted it, but like going like wow, like there's actually like kind of like a fun way.
mhm,
And I think that's also was like even when I like visited that church for the first time,
mhm.
there's already like a community kind of like welcoming me like, hey, like you should come out to this, you should come out to that. Like I never had that going to Catholic church.
Right.
And it's like I kind of like would go Catholic church or go home, but like
It's like very ritual based.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you go to confess or
Yeah.
like do stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I always felt like I was behind in like
Mm.
Catholicism because like I never got like confirmed or stuff like that. I was baptized, but I never got like confirmed or went to like
Mhm.
confession or stuff like that. And so I always felt like kind of like, oh, I'm like so behind to do
Mhm.
this, and I feel like I don't know, I'm not like a good Catholic. But then like, and then like Christianity came, and then it's like everyone's so welcoming. They help you out through the whole process, and like
Mm,
they want to get you like they want to hang out outside of like church.
mm.
And I'm like, what? Like this is people actually want to do that?
Yeah.
Like people are like actually so welcoming. It was
Mm.
like those kind of churches. And
Yeah.
So like it was like eye opening. I think that was eye opening.
Yeah. Maybe it could have been just like that particular
Mhm.
Catholic church you went to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've heard of, or when I was in college, there was other ones that
Uh-huh.
aren't as like maybe stiff.
Yeah.
They're a little bit more like community based
Oh,
and they're
okay,
a lot
okay.
more inviting. But
Mhm.
so that person in college, they like kind of really, they were the one to invite you. Were they
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
a random friend, or like did you just in college? You know, you just have those random encounters,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
someone's like, "Hey, like I like your shoes. Want to come to like?" our
I
church?"
don't know if I'm like can admit this, but like it was some girl I was talking to. She was Catholic, but like I mean not Catholic. She was Christian.
She's Christian, yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I'll check it out. But I was like, I didn't realize like it was such like a huge like a lot of people that I
Mm.
knew too like were going to that church,
Oh, okay.
and I was
yeah.
like, wow, this is like a lot of fun. This is
Mm.
like it's very passionate versus like kind of like sitting there in a Catholic church like
Yeah. It's definitely like it can be very different, and I'm sure it was probably like whoa, like
it was eye opening to see like how energetic, passionate, how fast moving it was. I guess.
Yeah.
It
So like even though the person you were talking to, like though maybe they didn't intend to like be like, oh, like it wasn't like they were, I don't know if she was like trying to evangelize or anything
Mhm.
like that, but just like kind of being like, hey, you should check out church,
Yeah,
you know?
maybe because I feel like that's like a lot. Like every Christian girl wants to obviously like their boyfriend to be like Christian too.
Yeah, or
Like,
vice
and-
versa.
and-
Yeah.
and like even evangelizing is like a big thing, and,
Mm.
like for like Christians in general. So I guess maybe she took her opportunity and it worked.
Yeah.
But like yeah, I guess it did work since I'm still like pretty involved now. I did his job.
Has there been someone at like CCPC, or is just there like a group of people that has kind of helped, like, especially through membership class, or is there some people you just like interacted with that have helped you get more plugged in, or like do you want to get more plugged in?
Okay. I would definitely say my sisters helped me, like I was mentioning earlier, the icebreaker. But I think the two people, am I supposed to name names?
You can if you want to.
The two people that got me like super involved was Yuna and Mark. Yeah, so that like I know I met Yuna at, well, Mark was always like the only person I knew like at that church, kind of like when I would visit from home and like post service like in that big hallway. I was like, Mark was the only person I kind of knew, and my sister would kind of like slowly introduce me to people, like but it wasn't,
but they're like a bit younger, so they don't know as many like
exactly
your age people,
exactly. So but like Mark was like, I was talking to Mark for a while because I have a best friend that's like really good friends with Mark, so that was like the kind of connection. And but then I think I was rock climbing at the time, and eventually he was like, oh, I think Yuna rock climbs too.
Yeah.
And then eventually like
because she went to JMU.
Yeah, exactly. So like I think I eventually connected, like Mark connected me with Yuna, and it kind of like got me into their CG, and like, that's how it all,
you were in
like,
their CG
I wasn't even a member or anything. They just let me like join their CG. And so that's how like kind of it all started.
Are you a dancer at all? This is right.
No, I can't dance. I mean,
you were talking about JG, and like Yuna is a big dancer. For some reason, I was like, oh, maybe.
I wish I could dance, and like this, like I can like. No, it's just cringe dancing. There's no way. There's no. I can't.
I only do this to keep up.
I know my sister makes me do TikTok dances sometimes, but then like.
Does she have a TikTok? Are you in any of hers?
I don't know. I don't want to know. But she definitely recorded a few. I don't know if she posted them just for fun. But yeah, that's the one in high school.
I wonder if like, she's posting without you even realizing, and it's like, oh, like my lame brother, older brother is so awkward.
Oh gosh, I hope
I'm
not.
totally kidding. I'm sure.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sure you're fine.
Dancing is hard though. I give credit to some. Like I thought like being athletic would correlate to dancing. No, it's not. It's not really.
Yeah. It's like it's a different gene.
Yeah, it's a whole other like
talent.
Yeah, exactly. Can't do it. I wish I could. I think that's one thing. If I could go back in time and like pick up like a hobby, it'd be dancing.
Yeah.
They're like, especially in college, they're so cool. And there's a whole community after, and like there's a big community for it.
Yeah. I don't know why I just asked, because you briefly mentioned because you were like trying to learn those dances, but I guess everyone was trying to learn those dances back then.
Yeah. I just wanted to see I just wanted to fit in, or like, but yeah, and also like dance is just a cool party trick.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to be good at like choreographed dancing. I'm not really that good, but I'm honestly a little humble brag. I'm pretty decent at like just random dancing. Find me at a wedding or like any dance floor. Yeah, I'm embarrassing, but I have no shame.
my dream, which probably won't ever happen, but it's not like a serious dream. But my dream is like someone makes like a dance circle around me, and I can just start like break dancing. But I can't break dance for my life. But like that'd be so cool. I think that situation sounds so cool to me. Like everyone makes a dance circle, and you just like break it down and.
Specifically like breakdancing.
Yeah, breakdance, like spinning on your head or like doing like those windmills. I think the windmills the coolest thing, even though I heard it's like a basic thing for like b-boyers or whatever.
I mean, it's still pretty tough. Hey, like you said, like you're down to like try new things, maybe you can start now.
Yeah. That's true. I'm scared I break something nowadays.
Yeah. Like our bodies are not.
Yeah, our body is definitely like, we want to try new things, but our body can't keep up as it used to be.
Yeah. I guess last question for you then is, are there any things about your experience or just like being a member of CCPC that you're hoping for, or that you're just like looking forward to, or just like kind of like maybe even goals for yourself that
goals
you have
for myself, I guess,
as like a member, like to get more plugged in or to evangelize more, like whatever it looks like.
I guess if anything, like I wish there were more new members, obviously, so I can like be like, because it's hard kind of meeting people who already all know each other, and they're kind of like I don't want to say clicky, but I did say click by accident. Like people already know each other growing up and stuff, but I wish there were like more incoming new members. That's why I'm kind of like excited for this Tyson's church, because like more people are like hopefully more people.
Are you joining?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even. Oh my gosh, I could have talked to you about that. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Right, maybe we'll do a second episode later.
But yeah, I'm excited for that one. It's just like more people are coming in, more possibly more like. I'm not the. I don't want to say like non-Korean, but like just like more diversity. So like, just for me to relate, like nothing wrong with like Koreans, obviously, but it's just like everyone knows each other kind of way, and I'm hoping that I can kind of like meet new people and then kind of like have something related to, so I don't
like you can empathize.
Yeah, exactly.
And like notice if someone seems like they're not like,
and also
a cutter.
I also can like help them out, since like I feel like everyone helped me out a lot, but for the most part, like I feel like the community is like really strong. Like you have what you need. At the end of the day, it's kind of like you on yourself to like be more involved. Like there's only so much people like other people can do for you. Like they can like hold your hand, walk you to CG. Like they're not like there's only so much like they could do to like get you to like start talking to people and like doing all that stuff. So it's like I feel like at the end of the day, it's up to that person, like how bad you want it, I guess. And I feel like CCPC has a good community. Obviously, it can be improved, obviously in some ways. Yeah, it's like small ways, but for the most part, it's like you have what you need. You have like the opportunity to join CG. You have like to join like men's retreat, men's study.
There's a lot of resources, like opportunities.
Exactly, there's a lot of like stuff. So it's not really an excuse, like I guess, to blame it on the community, but like at the end of the day, like kind of what I'm saying is like it's up to you, up to like individually, like how bad do you want to like keep pursuing, how bad do you want to like be involved, like how bad do you want to like study, like stuff.
Yeah, like I mean, granted, there's a lot of little things that lead up to someone even getting involved in the first place. And for your story, like it was your sisters or just like someone you knew in college or like that invited you out. It's like little small things that like lead you to a bigger community like this.
Yeah. I think the Tyson's Church is going to be like a big like help to the community, because like you're going to get a bunch of people, at least for my age group, like people who are going to join. I hope like maybe around our age group, mid-20s or whatever, like working individuals kind of like have more stuff to relate to. That like there's a lot of like older people at CCPC, like a lot of parents and stuff like that, and obviously like you can't talk to them, but it's just at the same time like talk about like kind of like the mid-age, not to discriminate against older people, and I don't want to like but like just like that, I think the Tyson's Church is gonna bring up like more opportunities, like a more community. And
given the environment that it's specifically kind of targeting, like work, like Tyson's is such a central location for working people, like that are single or married or whatever, but like Tyson's, is a hub for like a ton of office buildings. Like my company is located there. It's like
that's where all like if you're not working like New York or like
it's
or
probably
like
McLean.
You're probably working in Tyson now. It's like that's what I'm saying. Like Nova's on the come up.
You're number one Nova like supporter.
I am a Nova supporter. Like
you're the mascot.
I surprisingly like really like it. Yes, it's like sometimes there's like not enough stuff to do sometimes. Yes, but like
it's like a decent.
It's a good decent amount for like where we live. Like a lot of people take it for granted, I guess, is what I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah, so you're more on the side of, hey, like Nova's not that bad.
Yeah.
Don't whine and stuff or complain, because it's much better than most places.
Yeah, but that being said, I would still want to try living somewhere else, just to live somewhere else, like in another state.
Same, yeah.
But like I would see myself coming back here and like raising like a family and stuff like that. Like
it's actually a really nice area.
Yeah, it's a really nice area. Like it sucks that like we had to grow. I mean, not that it sucks, but like that we're like kind of spoiled to grow up here.
Yeah.
So we like it's hard to see like what's better than that. But like yeah, if you like came from like anywhere else or whatever, like that's not New York or the big cities, then you come here, you're like, wow, I love
It's
it here.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, not to rag on North Dakota again,
Yeah,
but
right.
like,
I have nothing against North Dakota.
yeah,
It's just
me
like the
neither.
most.
This is not any like shade on them. It's just the name that keeps coming up. But yeah, thank you for being here. It was great to have you as a guest today, Tristan. But yeah, thanks for joining us.